Now we're on to the 7th card, number 6, the Lovers. I'm kind of on hiding to nothing with these cards. They're really hard. The Lovers in particular gets difficult to kind of encapsulate and explain in a fairly short, succinct video. I'll have a go. We'll see how it goes. So, the Lovers is represented by the letter Z, or Zain, which means a sword, and it's the 7th card, and Zain, or a sword, relates to the zodiac sign of Gemini. It's a mutable sign, it's air, and thus we have the Lovers card. And Crowley calls it the Lovers in brackets or brothers, because it's about consanguinity. There's a kind of similarity going on rather than this kind of sexual attraction thing going on as well. It's hard to go through all the concepts to make sense, but and he says this card and its twin, number 14 arts, are the most obscure and difficult of the tarot, of the R2. Each of these symbols is in itself double, so that the meanings form a divergent series, and the integration of the card can only be regained by repeated marriages, identifications, and some form of hermaphroditism. Okay, the hermaphrodite thing we saw in the Fool card, didn't we? It was there. And there's an interesting thing, because with the Lovers cards you can see in the background there's like an arch, okay, and this is the royal arch by which the royal marriage takes place, and you can see underneath you have the king and the queen, and then below them you have two other figures, and there's the transposition of the light and the dark that goes on. You also see that in the two birds at the bottom as well. The birds, well, they have the lion and the eagle. So there's always this, you have the lance and the growl there as well, and that was also in the Fool card too. So we're seeing a resumation, if you like, of the Fool card. So we've gone to duality here, very much so. Right. So then he goes on to this whole story of Cain and Abel and the mark of the brow and the beast, and then he talks about the shedding of blood. We're in tricky territory here. Okay, I'm not going to kind of get caught up in this stuff because it gets tricky. But this card, the path is from Bina, which is the Black Pyramids and the Black Brothers come from there, and it goes down to Tipra. So Tipra, the sun and the light, is kind of reflecting light up to Saturn in Bina. It mucks you up trying to talk about this stuff, because it says that almost every sentence in this passage seems to reverse the meaning of the previous one. So how the hell am I, going to interpret and understand that and then stick the tricky. And he says this equation is, or should be, simultaneous in the intellectual world. I've got no chance here, have I? But this is what's going on. This duality is like a thing going backwards and forwards very fast, and it is creating something different, and it's contradictory as well. And then it says this is necessary to preserve the equilibrium of the universe. The equilibrium balance of the universe as to what it is, and is he referring to the universe card, which is the final one, or this whole universe? Probably both. This is ambiguous on the point, just to mess with your head. Okay. And he says the key is that the card represents the creation of the world. And then he says it's a secret. Right. So, I've got 3 more pages of this to go, and I've skipped a big lump of it already for you. So then he goes on to say the subject of this card is analysis followed by synthesis. So the first question asked by science is, of what are things composed? What are the elements? Before we knew what elements were. Then having been answered, the next question is, how shall we combine them, recombine them to our greater advantage? So you find the purity of the elements and then you put them back together to make new things, even better. It says this resumes the whole policy of the tarot. So you're understanding the purity of the tarot cards and then you're putting together. This is why individual interpretation of the cards doesn't work, because you want something more in the cards. You know, it's a combination. This is why you have elemental dignities and card counting and pairing. When you know this intrinsic purity of the cards, then you can mix and match and create new structures, and new ideas, and new potentialities and manifestations. It goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop, because this thing is whizzing around really fast. It's actually being destroyed and created instantly like that all the time. This is almost like the way quantum mechanics works. Things appear, they disappear, and you don't know why, and it all goes on. It's an extraordinary thing. And he says the hooded figure which occupies the centre of the card is another form of the hermit. We haven't got to the hermit yet, have we? But there is this kind of hooded thing that is there in the card. You can't see him, he's hooded. So again, and he also says he himself is a form of the god Mercury. Because, of course, Mercury rules, as I said earlier in the previous video, rules Gemini and Virgo. So you would expect mutable earth and mutable air to be represented in this card. So you have to sort of jump backwards and forwards all the time, and that's what he's doing to you. You know, he's just pulling and pushing you to break it all up and recombining it, putting it back together and going around the other way. And just to screw you up, you'll take off in a different tangent too. You like an intellectual challenge, don't you? You know, you're a bit bored with the simple same old, yeah? Right, he's standing in the sign of the Entra, okay? So he's doing this kind of thing that's going on there, going into something. This is to do with the Golden Dawn rituals as well, so you need to know a bit about that too. To enter is to go into something. As if projecting the mysterious forces of creation. About his arms is a scroll indicative of the word, which is alike his essence, which is alike his essence and his message. But the sign of the Entra is also the sign of benediction and of consecration. Consecration is an interesting sexual one that's coming in there as well. It's all about sex. And then he talks about the mystic marriage, okay? And this is from the Chemical Marriage of Christian Rosenkreuz. And this is here we have the, which you see at the bottom of the card, the two figures. One's kind of black, one's kind of dark hair, light hair. The pages, dark hair, light hair. And the eagle and the lion. Okay. So he's kind of bringing in stages of alchemical manifestation at the same time as well. And again, we have the sacred lance and the Holy Grail. We've been there before, haven't we? So now we're seeing another level of manifestation of these things. We also have the Orphic egg as well, which is the essence of all that life which comes under this formula of male and female. And you have the symbol of the eggs and the supernals in the tree of life as well at the top. And there's a lot of things that are going on in this card. And then he says the figure in the air presents some difficulty, as if, which is this one here, Eros, as if everything else is simple, you know? He is Cupid. And it is not at first clear what Cupid has to do with Gemini, stupid Cupid. Well, you think we would, wouldn't it? It's a lover's Cupid. He's firing his arrow and they fall in love, don't you? But he's saying, no, there's something else going on here too. So then he goes on to the Roman gods, and there's an irresponsibility, which is kind of mercurial kind of thing that's going here. Remember, we have Mercury at the top, the battler of the Magus. He's immature, he's a thief. So he's talking about the will entering something as well. So there's an impregnation, if you like, that's going on in this card too. No very special importance is attached to Cupid in our chemical figures. Yet in one sense he is the source of all creation, the libido to express 0 as 2. 0 equals 2 again, you see. So he's bringing this duality, this dialectic back into the card. And he also brings in this notion of thelema, which is actually found on R214, the art card. I guess really I should do the art card next, shouldn't I? But we'll stick with the system as it is. So what's the mnemonic for it? To each his understanding, sooth discovers, wordless, your mode, immortal, twins and lovers. He's kind of made it slightly understanding, that's where it comes from. Wordless, your mode. Well, Gemini is communication and expression, isn't it? Immortal, twins and lovers. We're back, so that's fairly a simpler way to kind of understand what's happening here. So what does he say about the 6th card? He says, the oracle of the gods is the child voice of love. In thine own soul, hear thou it. Heed not the siren voice of sense or the phantom voice of reason. Rest in simplicity and listen to the silence. So for all this chatter and everything else that's going on, you've got to get back to the silence, which is reinforced in the Hermit, the Hierophant card, where you, again, because you're communicating with your holy guardian angel, you don't want all that chatter going on. You want a clear communication thing. So the divinatory meanings, if you like, for this card, he says openness to inspiration, intuition, intelligence, second sight, childishness, frivolity, thoughtfulness, divorce from practical consideration. Yeah, the Gemini is a little bit flighty, a bit all over the place. It's not kind of logically thinking things through that you get with the more solid, logical, plodding, Taurian kind of thinking that you had before. And then it goes into indecision, self-contradiction, union in a shallow degree with others. Yeah, Geminis are easy to get on with people. They chat and meet people in the pub or someone next to them on the bus, all sorts of things like this. And then there's instability, contradiction, triviality, the highbrow. The highbrow usually means it's kind of much higher up in things, isn't it? So I'm not quite sure what he's suggesting with that point there. So we've done the lovers. Now it's time to get on to the Chariot, which has the Grail.